All right, welcome back. Back again so soon to the Loud Sound Epicenter podcast. Today we're going to be going back in time a bit here. This might be an oldie for anybody who's been on the channel for long enough. You know, I got to say at the outset, this is really going to be a thank you video for the most part because, again, all of this is derivative of people that are much greater, much more, have more credentials than somebody like me. Me being Gen Z, a lot of what I do is kind of retrospective in a way. So I want to say that before Thomas got on board with the show, I tried to do something a bit more music centered, a bit more pop culture centered. And then after Thomas, we tried to explore the political side of things. And so this video is going to be a lot like some of the earlier ones on this channel. I don't even know how many people are aware of them. Seems like a bygone era. And so that's why the title of this stream is not so much in reference to my development of this channel, the blog, if anyone even knows about that. It's more so talking about the bygone era of Gen X, really, and how that has been so far long ago. And this channel was kind of made to commemorate some of those memories that I was not old enough to experience. But we do have the resources to have an intimate look at some of those shenanigans. So, what prompted this stream was a couple of things. First of all, today's a very important anniversary. It's a personal anniversary, but thanks to some of the people in my family, they've reminded me that today is June 18th. And back in 1981 was the first time someone in my family I mean, relatively speaking, got to see like a life-changing concert, and I don't even know if Gen Z really has that intimate of an experience when they go to see whoever it is. But back then, I was describing it earlier today. It was really like a cult. It was really like, to quote my dad, it's like high school with all the people that you like because I think a lot about high school as kind of the ultimate hierarchy, the ultimate first impression of adulthood, life in general, and the idea that, in high school you really make all your choices. It's kind of a litmus test for yourself. And so that being the same time period where he went to his first concert, which was, and I shouldn't even have to make you guys guess because I think it's pretty obvious given the theme on this show. Hopefully, bass guitarist is in chat. This is basically a dedicated stream just for him because we're going to be going into some lore, some stuff that he's already well aware of, but maybe some of the Zoomers aren't. Maybe some older folks might want to relive some of these past memories because I know I do. That was one of the things that even got me interested in research in general. But the concert was Van Halen. It was the Fair Warning tour. So the band, commercially speaking, that was their least successful album at that point, which doesn't even make sense because it's their heaviest album, despite Push Comes to Shove, despite Sunday Afternoon in the Park. Those don't represent the album, just like British Steel doesn't represent Judas Priest. Anyways, we're already on a tangent, but that moment in the band's history is very key here because we're going to be talking about the band a lot. But anyways, my dad got to see them at that tour, and it was probably some nobody opening band at that time. For those that know Van Halen intimately, you know that they were infamous for having. I think Kiss did the same thing. They would have some joke band to make themselves look bigger and better by the time they got on stage, which really is how that should work. You would think it'd be a more reciprocal relationship. But yeah, I remember Eddie Trunk told a story about how Kiss had a opening band that had a stand-up bass, a rockabilly band for Kiss. And this must have been in the 80s when you had, hair metal, some heavier sides of thrash emerging. This is just me speculating, but stuff like that was very common with Van Halen too. They had Kenny Wayne Shepherd. That's not like that's like early 2000s ish, that tour. And so that's not so much a dig, but anyway, point still stands. So anyways, he got to see this concert for the first time. It's funny, he was describing it to me, and, I couldn't help this is just me personally, but I just couldn't help but think about that scene in Blue Velvet when Kyle MacLachlan is in the back seat and Dennis Hopper is driving like a madman. I think he's going over 100 miles per hour on surface streets, and, I just imagine not that that's the dynamic that was happening, I'm just saying I like to dramatize a lot of the the things people tell me, kinda heightens the experience a little bit. I don't know, this is what Fight Club does to your brain. This is what, Hollywood, uh, distorts reality and makes it more strange, what a strange world. But anyways, so he talks about and this is really I'm just giving you the play by play because again, this video is a bygone era tributes to the veterans, which are the concert goers of the 70s, 80s. I know Oros talks about the 70s a lot, but for me, it was always the 80s because one of the documentaries that inspired me to get this channel up and running, to reach out to Thomas, to even care about any of this stuff, and hear me out, because this band does not get a lot of love. They get put in the, Poison, Cinderella, they get put in this strange category because they were so flamboyant, they were so androgynous. Somebody like David Bowie can get away with it. He can have the credentials to back him up. A band like this who jumped in, seemingly on the bandwagon, so to speak, it looks a little nefarious. Not to say that it is, but anyways, the band that I'm talking about, the documentary that I watched about them was for Quiet Riot. It was called "Now You're Here, There's No Way Back." It's the line from "Bang Your Head," which was their one of their biggest songs, hits back in the day. But anyways, there's a strong relationship here between Quiet Riot and Van Halen because one of the things that's described in that documentary is that Quiet Riot was the people that knocked the wall down for a lot of the Sunset Strip bands. For those that don't know, LA was infamous for a lot of glam metal, a lot of up and comers. I mean, going back to like the Doors playing at the Whiskey a Go Go, kind of gallivanting all over the Sunset Strip. They became infamous for being this very provocative act. And so it was very California-esque, even though they were inspired by the Birds, which are not very flamboyant or dramatic as far as presentation. The sound was pretty radical for that time, but you understand the difference between a band like the Birds, David Crosby. It's just not on the same level as the stuff that came afterwards. I mean, the psychedelic rock was really game changing for that time period, and that pattern was consistent all throughout and going into the '80s. I know that the hair metal bands get kind of lumped into this kind of pop personality. They can't really rise above that stereotype, but I'm not here to really get into that. That's probably going to drive the viewership down if we try to defend hair metal on its merits. I think there's some heavier stuff on there that people don't really give credit to. A lot of people willfully ignore, Rat, Dokken. So anyways, to bring it back, off that tangent. The thing about Quiet Riot is when their album got number 1 on the Billboard charts, and that was at a time when you had Michael Jackson, The Police. I mean, these were, metal was not just this fringe thing anymore. It was competing with some of the pop acts at the time. So it's very interesting. I just consciously thought if this was muted the entire time, I would do something not great. But anyways, I think we're good, hopefully. But so anyways, Quiet Riot got the credit for mainstreaming glam metal, which means they also carry all the baggage for doing so. They allowed, White Lion, Cinderella, Britney Fox, all these acts, and because that's kind of a relic of history. Obviously, a lot of those bands never really earned the momentum back after the '80s, and so Quiet Riot was put in that position where you get all the credits during the heyday, but not so much anything after that. But one of the things that documentary really laid out was the fact that, you had this scene. If you've ever seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot, which I think even someone like Kurt Cobain credited as something very interesting to even watch. But, the what is it? The tailgating, just people out and about wearing the shirts, kind of repping the merch, stuff like that is very organic, very local, and it's cult-like. I want to remove the stigma from calling it a cult because one of the negative aspects that people don't like about cults is that they're not true. The devotion, the loyalty, the bond, I don't think we have so much a problem with that. And so that's why I proudly label the metal bands. I mean, when we start getting into like some Norwegian stuff, that's a little over the line. That is like literally a cult and in the worst sense. But not talking about that. I'm saying, as a literary device, it's a cult insofar as it's a brotherhood, a commonwealth in the true sense of the word. And the fact that it was basically like a hidden thing. This is pre-internet, pre-social media. And so it was basically word of mouth. Lars talks about this with Metallica, saying that, the tape trading scene is what kept the scene alive. And people doing that organically through their own will, that's what got Metallica up at the top of the statistics for SoundScan, if people remember that. And so anybody who's ambivalent about how popular are these bands really, do you just put a bunch of records into a store, and if the store has 100 records, then that automatically counts as a sale? People might not even think of that aspect of the industry, since one of the things me and Thomas talked about in a past video is how the music industry is one of the most transparently cutthroat, corrupt. I mean, they don't even have to hide it. You literally pay for popularity. It's very, very capitalistic, very American. So, but anyways, about Van Halen. Quiet Riot gets the credit for being the first band to do this. Help out the Sunset Strip bands, normalize the because Van Halen is a 70s band, but it's very 80s, even back in the late 70s. Maybe we're gonna have to use some Chuck Klosterman logic here. Maybe you could say the 80s really started in 1978 because that's when you get, the first Cars album. A lot of debuts come out at that time, including Van Halen. And so you get a lot of this up tempo. You get a lot of happy, feel good music, but it's heavy musically, rhythmically. And so there's a famous magazine, it might be Circus, who said, asking about is heavy metal dead in the late 70s? And they got bands like Kiss and Heart. And these are the melodic bands of the time. You wouldn't really call them metal, but compared to, like I said, Crosby, Stills and Nash, all these 70s bands, Foghat, Boston, it's a lot darker in terms of delivery compared to a lot of those other mainstream acts. And so that's why I bring the cult angle. It is kind of a fringe music genre, even if it is coming at you with a smile, very karate moves on stage. And so that's why I say Van Halen was a cut above Quiet Riot. They were doing this much earlier. And if you read this book, which to really sum up the Bygone Era, this was a book that kind of this author was very prominent on Twitter. I went to one of his book signings, conferences, what have you. He gave a presentation about the early stage of Van Halen. And so I think he's on Reels right now talking about some recent stuff. You guys probably know Reels. But anyways, Van Halen Rising by Greg Renoff. This is like a history academic type who did the research, did the work with the California scene, reached out to some of the old people who saw them when they were a backyard band. And he talked about how these guys were doing it in the early 70s off of no money, very Guns N' Roses-esque. These are broke white guys that are making ends meet, playing some punk songs, some Queen stuff. They're all over the place. They don't really fit in the 70s. They're kind of very cosmopolitan. They're just kind of going around and obviously Roth is very influenced by Motown. Eddie Van Halen infamously looked up to Eric Clapton, loved Cream. 10 Years Gone, or is it 10 Years After? 10 Years Gone is the Led Zeppelin song. Okay, so it's 10 Years After. We're back. So that's the thing, Van Halen and Quiet Riot, it's really strange. I kind of encountered those two bands and they had such an intimate relationship. Obviously, one begot the other. But someone on Twitter reminded me because he was I was talking about this experience with that first Van Halen concert, and someone pitched in about Randy Rhoads for Ozzy, and the fact. In fact, do we have? I don't think we have it. And where was I going with that? Oh yeah. So the thing, as you guys know, I mean, Randy Rhoads was in the band for what, like 10 seconds. He was. He's also in Quiet Riot. So there's another connection there. So what I'm trying to lay out here with this Bygone Era is this stuff moves very quickly. And so for the people who aren't documenting it, for the people that just show up to the shows and don't really know the trajectory of where this genre is going to go, it's very interesting. You know, Randy Rhoads was in Quiet Riot very briefly, and it was kind of in character. It's very up-tempo, pop sounding metal. But you got a song like Laughing Gas, if anyone wants to check that out, some of those Japanese albums that they released. It's just that stuff stands out to anybody with a careful ear who's trying to investigate, what makes this genre so exceptional, and how is it breaking barriers for a lot of the stuff that's coming out at that time. And then you listen to the Ozzy stuff, he's bringing the neoclassical influence into there. And so for people that want to say that heavy metal doesn't really have a background in anything beyond like aggressive, loud, schizophrenic movements on stage, kind of mindless riffing, you can see a lot of the classical influence with someone like Randy Rhoads, someone like Yngwie Malmsteen, a lot of the Shrapnel Records musicians, Vinnie Moore, Steve Vai. But anyways, what was that tangent about? Oh, it's so anyways, the thing, as you know, Randy Rhoads is in Quiet Riot very briefly. If you blink, you'll miss it. And then he's in Ozzy very briefly, not by choice, of course. But again, these are things spontaneously happening in the genre. And the bands continue touring, music continues to be made, but there's just all these different caveats that it seems like there's a lot of pop culture relevance there, and there's a story there. And it's funny. I remember, I don't think we've ever talked about Sammy Hagar with Thomas in detail, but it's, that's another example. Van Halen itself, that first six albums didn't really last. That was something that was lightning in a bottle. And if you weren't there for that, someone like me, you're only seeing this in the aftermath of it. So you kind of lose a lot of perspective, but maybe you gain one too, because you're also not blind to your sort of personal preferences. You're willing to kind of have that cosmopolitan approach the way that Van Halen did in the early 70s, covering some, Sly and the Family Stone, or doing a Queen cover, ZZ Top. And so it allows you to be more flexible in music. And so that's something that I think is kind of unique to Gen Z. I think one of the things that drags Gen X is they don't really, because they have the firsthand experience, it doesn't really give them a lot of motivation to check out some of the forgotten gems. So, a band like Heaven's Edge is something that if you didn't see them on the strip, you would have to find them on a YouTube channel. There's channels out there dedicated to that. Danny Wasted is somebody who's finding some of these bands that didn't reach mainstream status, like Quiet Riot or Van Halen. So it's just an interesting thing. I watch movies like Almost Famous, or some of the more bigger ones like Dazed and Confused. One of those things those movies get credit for is there's not really a story. It's more of like a subtext. It's more of a feeling, what Quentin Tarantino would call a hangout film. You're just kind of living vicariously through strangers, and it doesn't really matter if the story really wraps up, if all of these characters have to have a conclusion. You're just being taken back into time and trying to see things through kind of a spectator's perspective. And so that's, that to me, that's real gonzo journalism. That's trying to put yourself in that position without trying too hard, without trying to show you the 80s nostalgia, all the glitter and glamour that, you don't really have to do that to show that era. And someone like Thomas, who talks about how the 80s were really more of like Cold War fever, Cold War fear. It's one way to kind of remove some of the stereotypes. I hate to belabor the point. We've said this probably two shows in a row now, but the '90s gets this treatment in spades. The fact that it's summed up with, funny haircuts, fashion, baggy clothes, friends, coffee shops, and really what the '90s was the Menendez brothers, it was Woodstock '99, it was Decadence, it was O.J. Simpson trial, LA riots. That is the '90s, and obviously, it's okay to have good memories of the '90s, but it's really strange looking back, especially from, like, a dissident perspective, how people could fool themselves into thinking that the '90s was just this continuation of the '80s optimism, this sort of, live and let live attitude, which seems to, cloud people's judgment. But anyways, but yeah, Van Halen is one of those bands that really got this show going, if I'm being honest. Without Van Halen, that was one of the first CDs I found in my garage, made me wanna check out the discography, and so a lot of that stuff, all it takes is, like, one band for you to wanna check stuff out, and, like, one of the things I pulled out here, I remember since the people on Twitter were, reminding me, I mean, just some of the stuff I would listen to in high school, like, I would listen to Blackout by Scorpions. I thought this was their heaviest record. I don't think I was too privy with the Uli Jon Roth era at that time, but it just became a pattern to just put this record on before I went into PE, listening to this on my headphones that eventually got broken, I'm sure, but no, it's just little stuff like that, little anecdotes that I think go a long ways, and I never will experience the '80s or the '90s, but it seems like we're gonna keep talking about it because other people won't. So, it's just one of those things. And, I gotta be honest, especially after getting into politics, I have to, have a have a bit of a sharper eye when I look at stuff like the Sammy Hagar era of Van Halen, because I look, after that revelation, looking at an album like this, 5150, and seeing the Ayn Rand influence totally corrupting the, Van Halen band that I used to know, even if it's years after the fact. I mean, still, this can't go on. This is something that has to be addressed, and if we allow this stuff to just go over people's heads, we're really robbing the responsibilities that we're, supposed to take up. So anyways, I've been, talking for a quick second here. I'm curious if anybody else in chat. I'd like to share some of your guys's, some of the posts you guys did on Twitter, because that was amazing. Semiagog too. Semiagog was talking about Accept. I was listening to Accept earlier this week. Accept with Alda Nova, which is kind of an interesting match. I'm curious who played first. I'd have to check the ticket, but that's the other interesting thing is the bands that toured together, some of the dynamics there. But it was Alda Nova, Accept, which was one of the heaviest bands at that time. Before Metallica, that's what speed metal was. That was the most aggressive thing at that time, or one of. Raven too. Raven too was, I think they were British. Accept was German. So, and then what was the other one? Anyways, these are the important anecdotes. Anyways. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? We're not on mute? That's cool. Yo, Brotherhood of Nod, thank you. Thank you. Oros, thank you, man. Old high school is being closed. I went to an open house for it last month. Combining 3 small town schools into one. Wow, wow, that's interesting. A conglomerate. That's pretty interesting. Spiff, good evening. Good to see you here. Yeah, Brotherhood, that's quite a privilege. Yo, Pyramid Head in chat. Yo, Silent Hill fan in chat. I'm thinking we're back. What do we got here? Yeah, hey, thank you, man. No, I gotta like Thomas was reminding me, this was his favorite album, Van Halen 2, and I listened to this album for the first time almost 10 years ago, and I was like, "My goodness, I know the debut is, pretty impressive on the first listen, but this thing is right up there." I mean, it's the same pacing, the same beats, and I know what is it? Linda Ronstadt cover's a bit out there, but that's a pretty nice groove, is it not? And I mean, covering a Linda Ronstadt song for a band like this, that's the kind of outsider thinking that I really respect. Anyways, what's up with the super chat? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is Susan doing some funny business? Susan, honey, you can't do this. What do we got? One of the best opening acts was Alice Cooper. Oh man, and Edgar Winter, the whitest man alive, Edgar Winter, and Foghat also. Went to do a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, David Lee Roth covered Easy Street on Crazy from the Heat, the EP, and that's a nice groove. I thought that was his song. It's up his alley, but that's nice stuff, man. Again, a bygone era, like Oros talks a lot about the '70s. That's going to be helpful because if people stop, there's no one left to record it, and so I'd like to give a fair hearing to a lot of that stuff. The frame shot is better. Oh, Brotherhood giving me a hard time, my goodness. Marshall Ford, good to see you here. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the super chats, we'll see. Yeah, let me share some of, the Twitter stuff. Share screens. Enhance. Yo, and we're enhancing. It's called we do a little enhancing. Be careful sharing what? Oh, I don't have a guest. Whoops. Whoops. Alrighty, what do we got here? Yo, bass guitarist. This is the man. This is the man. See, that's the thing. You kinda need to have Gen X in a younger person's body. You need to have some of this older insight because a lot of the Zoomers are missing out. They're missing out on some good stuff. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My apologies. Yeah, not exactly on time, but, anyways, another Alice Cooper with Motorhead opening. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to who was it? The Van Halen versus Led Zeppelin dichotomy. Well, that's kinda tricky because Led Zeppelin, they're kind of, they're 2 bands at the beginning of their cycles. At the time, besides Led Zeppelin, you had Deep Purple, but they were going in this '60s friendly direction with oh, man, who is that first singer? My goodness. Who sings Hush? Oh, man. This is dreadful. Before Ian Gillan, they had that guy with the big hair. Anyways, um, not exactly where they were for In Rock or Machine Head. So that's where their Deep Purple's kind of on the fence. They are innovators, but at that time, they were kind of towing the line as far as rock. With Led Zeppelin, when you got songs like Dazed and Confused on the first album, Communication Breakdown, that's the groundbreaking stuff that is radical for that time. I mean, that's like Not to Touch the Earth from Waiting for the Sun. It's stuff that is a cut above a lot of the psychedelic rock, and definitely outcompeting the folk singers at that time. It's it's a really interesting distinction. And so Led Zeppelin basically invented metal. Now, maybe you could say it was a partnership, it was a accumulation of things, but or a combination rather. It's so like they're at the beginning of what prompted a band like Van Halen to come around and innovate it to the next level. But at that time, you had, the Doors, the Byrds, like distorted rock, but still reliant on the blues. You'll notice that with Morrison Hotel. A lot of those hard rock bands that could be confused for sounding metal, they're relying on a lot of the old rules, the rules of that era. So it's not exactly independent. You know what I mean? You're not really a trailblazer, at least in the sense that we know. Led Zeppelin from the get-go, I mean, okay, there's some blues covers on there, and as we know now, it's not all original. But listen, I mean, compare Shades of Deep Purple to Led Zeppelin 1. I mean, I don't think anybody's really gonna wanna stand up for Deep Purple by comparison, okay? Obviously, we respect in rock, Machine Head. I'm just saying this stuff developed over time, and so I wanna prevent us from jumping the shark. And then Van Halen, of course, I mean, you can make fun of David Lee Roth, you can make fun of the acrobatics, the cheerleader moves. Eddie Van Halen changed the way that the Guitar Hero was presented, not just in aesthetic terms, we're talking about the technicality, okay? The two-handed tapping. And not just that, I mean, we're talking about combining melodic and the heaviness, whereas in the '70s, you would expect one or the other. You would expect a metal band to just do their thing. A band like Motorhead, they would just although that's kind of a tricky example because they don't even wanna be defined by metal. Okay, okay, but you know what I'm saying. Like punk, early punk, discounting the Ramones. Early punk really just wanted to be punk and nothing more. Whereas a lot of the other bands like at CBGB's, they're well, okay, let's discount CBGB's. Let's just pick like the Cars, okay? The Cars just wants to be a pop band, and the Ramones just want to be a punk band. There's not a lot of overlap. They're hanging out with each other, which is cool, but it's not like you wouldn't not to say that they aren't, but you wouldn't say that they're like really inspiring each other. You go heavy on this and you emphasize these harmonics. No, no, no. These guys are doing their own things separate, and Van Halen was the bridge between the two. That's the way I would look at it. So I know for like a lot of Zoomers, a lot of the stuff is just summed up as classic rock, the most vague term in the world, hard rock. But there's so much happening. So anyways, just wanted to share an anecdote. Today, man, June 18th. June 18th, something happened. I don't know if it was metaphysical. Something seemed to be set on course. And I dig this old music, and the music still stays here, even if it's a bit out of time. Oh, here we go. Bass guitarist. Yeah, this is your stream, man. This is yo, you got told you sounded like Randy Rhoads. Excuse me. Excuse me. By a member of Robert Plant's American oh my goodness, are you serious? Let's go, bass guitarist. I'm thinking we're back. Oh, is the Wi-Fi interfering? Well, that's what I got for you. Yeah, man, Van Halen, for better or worse, is very much responsible for this show. Very much responsible for just checking out stuff in general, you know? The thing about that Quiet Riot documentary is they just briefly pass through. It's like, you remember that scene in Almost Famous where, the kid he's going through the hotel rooms, and he's just peeking through as he's passing by the rooms, and there's, like, one person playing acoustic guitar, people are talking. It's chaos, you know, it's like the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg, it's just chaos. But your eyes are just constantly distracted because it's like you're in Times Square, really. So, now stuff like that is, very wholesome, and I don't know how we get that kind of organic, you know, I went to, like, a goth concert recently, and that was pretty close to, like, a tight-knit group, and, so maybe it could still persevere. Yo, Charlemagne in chat? My goodness, this guy, Charlemagne. I've been watching this guy's videos consistently and, just really blown away. One of my favorites because it's that video essay style, it's perfect. It's not like a compilation, it's just information. You know, it's like Keith Woods. But yeah. But yeah. So, it's just one of those things. Van Halen inspiring the show. But yeah, Charlemagne, Paul Fahrenheit was telling me about you guys meeting up, man. That's awesome. He was he was telling me a lot of stuff, and, that's kind of a semblance of the organic stuff that I'm talking about. You know, it's like I said, a commonwealth in the true sense of the word. And to bring it back to the cult thing, I really want to emphasize that because there's this stigma with that word, but the devotion, the loyalty. What you don't like about a cult is when David Koresh starts calling himself God. That's when the cult label becomes negative. When the cult label gets a bunch of people together to read the Bible and create this like Amish, Mormon-esque community. Not an endorsement on either of those two, but something that creates this bygone era in the modern age. You know, there's not much I can really make fun of for that. But yeah, Charlemagne. Charlemagne, the king of gaps, the king of gaps. No, I have the opposite problem. I probably have too many just like non-structured shows. It's a lot more professional to just, you know, Keith kind of does that too. You just have a 20 something minute video of just, you know, intellectual power and never going off on a tangent. That's the kind of stuff that gets you in a Reason magazine. I saw Charlemagne in Reason magazine in an interview. That's a and you know what, man? How about if I just let me put that in chat. I was reading that early this morning. I have the most recent Cunley post on my phone. That's a bit distracting. Yeah, return.life. I want to put that in chat because this is what makes this feel much more like a community rather than just some hodgepodge, just some bar. Yeah, Charlemagne, you don't know about this? Let me yeah, let me put this in chat. I'm gonna link this in chat. You guys should read this, okay? There's people out there that are doing things. I'm putting it in chat in under a minute here. And that's a time period that you can count on. Okay, here we go. In the chat it goes. You guys should read this. But anyways, yeah, man. That's why I was talking with Jay Burden the other or actually this was a while ago. This was a while ago. But Vingle, what's going on, big guy? But Vingol just disrupting the show, losing my train of thought. One of the things I told Jay Burden towards the end of my semester is I said, I think it was during the Reactionary Chic article, which Catherine D promoted. And she said, "Look, man, this isn't just a bunch of edgy people making YouTube videos. I see like a scene here. I see like the early like what is it? Lime Wire. Some of these early like internet scenes where it's just a bunch of nerds, not to be use that term in a derogatory way. I just mean like a bunch of like close-knit people that are not just, blowing smoke. And so anyways, after that Reactionary Chic article, there was another one, man. There was another, but I forget the specific one. But anyways, I was telling Jay Burden, we're back on track, telling Jay Burden that this thing really reminds me of CBGB's. Because as I said earlier, it might sound chaotic. You walk into the bar. If you've ever seen that CBGB's movie, you guys should check that out. That actor just recently passed away, relatively recently, like in the past like 7 years. Let me close this picture of Avril Lavigne real quick. I need to use this tab. But anyways, CBGB's is this really, really sums up what I see as the Dissident Right. Because it's just it's a bunch of people outside the mainstream, but it's music that's accessible. Alan Rickman, that was the guy. Is that default chick? Yeah, that's her, Charlemagne. Yeah, you're right. That is her default friend. Anyways, yeah, that's what I see as the Dissident Right. It's CBGB's. You want Thomas 777? Go check out Subterranean Jungle by the Ramones. You want Catherine D? Go listen to Blondie, Plastic Letters, which has some edgy stuff, but it's pretty mainstream. You follow me? If you want who else? Who would I don't know. Maybe Geo is the Talking Heads. I'm not sure. But anyways, you got a hodgepodge of all these bands. That's kind of a negative term, but I mean it's a compilation. It's like a Metal Massacre CD. All right, it's a Metal Massacre CD because you could have Rat on there and you could also get Metallica on the same one. So you get this nice combination, man. And it introduces you to stuff, okay? Now the analogy's a bit rough now because obviously Metallica's mainstream. It becomes very difficult when you get things like pop punk kind of appropriates the term. Maybe that's the Peter Thiel angle. That's we're trying to have Vanity Fair wants to bring this to Madison Square Garden and we're like, no, just keep it in the bars, That's where our people are. Our people can't afford to leave 42nd Street. we You're gonna price out all the loyal fans, okay? And you're gonna commercialize it. You're gonna bring in all the women. You're gonna bring hey, not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but I'm just saying you're bringing in or maybe there is something to be said, but you're bringing in an audience that is too wide, and that's where you get 5150. That's where you get Why Can't This Be Love as the first single. This is Van Halen we're talking about. You're going to open with a ballad? We were already getting flack for You're No Good. But that was a cover. You could hide behind the fact that it was Linda Ronstadt. But all this other stuff, how are you going to defend it? So. But anyways, that's yo, Marshall's in here. No, we got all the cool people here. Yo, Georgia Satellites. Are we talking Georgia Satellites? Georgia Satellites has that one song where they name drop Van Halen. Forget the specific one. Anyways, it's on one of their compilations. But yeah. And of course, that's the attitude I get. Excuse me. I ate like 3 salads before the show. Excuse me. We paid $50 for a round table pizza with salads. You get the little disposable trays, your salads that you can fill up. They got a buffet where all the salad stuff is. So I refilled it, okay? That's not greedy, is it? And that stuff's good for you, so it shouldn't be a controversial. I don't know. Is that cringe? Is that taking advantage? And anyways, um, what were we talking about? Georgia satellites. Anyways, got really off track there. 2 salads back to back. This man is this is contra The thing is, man, I gotta lose some weight. That's the thing. So, hey, listen, you guys understand. I'm getting out of control over here, so gotta have the restraint. It's tough. You know what, man? We're doing it. We're doing it, okay? I'm sorry Oscar can't be here, but we're gonna do it. We got Charlie in here. We got bass guitar. Let's just do it. I've been saving these, okay? Let's just do it. Thank you, Vingol. But anyways, that's how I see the Dissident Riot. I see it as this, you know, I don't know, to bring it back to John D. It is kind of like the Andy Warhol art scene, but I don't know. That may not be a compliment. It's as far as like being outside the mainstream at that time, you could say that. Some of the non-satanic psychedelic rock of the 60s. Okay, how about that? It's like that opening scene in the first Austin Powers movie. You got that you got that girl. You got that girl on the floor with the what is it? The spiral. Isn't that what Snorlax has on his stomach? You got the you know what I'm talking about? You got the what do you call it? The swirl? Anyways. that's really autistic, but same here. We're like 7 Oh, dude, let's go. Dude, we got gym cells in the chat. I'm thinking we're back. Why do mini M&Ms taste better? I don't know, man. Hey, because I don't like Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles have that same thing where this is. See, you can't have Fruity Pebbles be that small and have a lot of them because when you take that bite, it's overdose. It's like heroin. You might as well just inject it in your veins at that point because it's too much. You can't have a bunch of little. You can't charge all those Fruity Pebbles with sweetness and then eat it all at once because you get too big of a taste. Okay, you know how Cinnamon Toast Crunch you get the little sparkles, the little shine. Um, that's subtle. That's why the cereal tastes good. You don't overload the sweetness into a little thing. You can't do that. Now with M&Ms, I think it works. It's a different thing. Cereal and the candy, it's different. Okay, thank you, Killster. Yeah, I don't like Fruity Pebbles. It's not. Is it? Oh, anyways. Yo, holographic Pokemon cards. I'm thinking we're back. I can't tear. I don't have nails. I need one of those black women with long nails to help me out here. Ah, maybe I'm not gonna. Oh. Please, sir. Can I have some more, please? Finally. We're back. We are back. But yeah. Charlemagne, are you a millennial? I'm trying to I'm trying to gauge because the other day I was pretty surprised some of the age of the regular viewers, and if this cozy thing goes through, we're gonna try and introduce a lot of that pop culture stuff, a lot of the geo leaning stuff. Prudentialist also, man, Prudentialist. That last episode, I'm telling you, man, Stain Hayes, women in what is it? Women in cars. That's I'm telling you, man, that's what gets me motivated. That interview had it all. Had it all. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, bass guitars. Bass guitars won me over on the millennial question. So I'm very grateful. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. See, we tried to fix that with the water bottle. So, okay. Well, we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. Thank you, Vingle. We don't want that to ruin the stream. But okay. Thank you. We appreciate that. When we wrap up here, we'll Nick will yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing, Nick's kind of all over the place. Here, let me get one more. Let me get one more, Vingle. All right. Man. No, we're gonna do it a certain way. Because you can talk about pop culture without being like a fanboy of a lot of these bands that I would like to fanboy over. But I mean, the LA scene, that's what I was gonna tell Paul Fahrenheit about. What? Hold on. Yo, that's a good that's a good idea. That's pretty that's true. You could do that. Um I'm going to Vegas next week, and I might have to do that. So, thank you for the heads up. I'll have to save. I'll have to save. But that's awesome. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about Paul Fahrenheit about was some of the California culture stuff cuz not to not to misquote Thomas, but his perspective on LA is a little it's a little nuanced. It's a little nuanced. So, one of the things that I think gets missed with the LA scene is you don't have to heavily talk about the glam bands. There, as bass guitarist knows, you can really talk about, like sociology. You could do a geo stream, like his hyper capitalism book review. My goodness, that really has it all as far as. But I mean, he wasn't talking about LA. He was talking about America overall. But like Paul says about what was it? LA is the last, or California was the last, like, America hoorah. It was the last of the frontier because you made it all the way out to the west, and then that was it. It literally ends with the ocean. And so we're not gonna get too descriptive with it, but you guys understand. We're not, it doesn't have to be a Van Halen review channel, but we're definitely gonna be talking about a lot of the backyard bands, and especially like the surf stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff started in California. It's funny, the hippies being invented in San Francisco but then you have the counterculture emerging out of LA, even though, uh even though thrash started in LA and then migrated south. That's interesting, the fact that you have that, and it's very radical, and it's a lot of, it's a lot of aggressive white guys, and there's a lot of subtext there, and I don't know, might have to collab with Geo about that. He was talking about the globalization of music in the late '90s. That is so true, man, and it's funny because the bands that were doing it was the death metal bands that became cringe. It was bands like Cynic and Atheist. That's literally the name. Those are 2 different bands. Cynic and Atheist embraced that world music, that cosmopolitan, putting absurd musical arrangements in their albums that if you showed that to, like, somebody in Florida where the death metal scene was rampant, it would be so laughable. You would get laughed out of the room. It's there's a lot of right-wing stuff happening in a lot of the metal spheres, and somebody like Chuck Klosterman, who he left a little review down here, which is kind of interesting for the Van Halen Rising book. But Chuck Klosterman is one of these types who, it's funny, he was defending Uncle Ted, in one of his, I was watching one of his, I think his book spots, but he kinda just threw that in there, and I was like, "Whoa." But anyways, stuff like that kinda gets missed. What's kind of funny is the only people who come close to addressing a lot of that stuff, and the kind of stuff that we'll be talking about on this channel and probably on Cozy, is this character that we keep hearing about. I think it was Greg Johnson. That was the one. He dedicated some time. The other person too, I think, is James Kirkpatrick. James Kirkpatrick, who that's one of his aliases. He kind of talks about it. I tried to get him to write an article about it. I reached out to him on Twitter, and you know what? I got to do that. I'm going to do that either now or tomorrow because he told me to hold him to that, and he's the guy to do it. He's got the credentials. Um, is it is it Blaze? Is it Blaze to like Sabaton? Dude, Sabaton is pretty cool for what it's worth. No other bands were doing the history buff stuff. You would get little stuff here and there. It's unfortunate because the black metal kind of clings onto it, but they got this pagan angle, of course. And it kind of taints the source. Again, it's whatever. I'm just saying you don't really get like a balanced view when they're talking about that specifically, you know? A friend of mine talks about how cheesy Sabaton is. Modern Monarchist, he used it for one of his intros. I mean, there's something there, and it's kind of too bad other bands don't take advantage. It's I mean, there's very few bands. No, 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 no. Klosterman, no, no, no. He would write about a lot of those scenes. I don't think he wrote about death metal. Oh, you're thinking of Schuldiner, Chuck Schuldiner. That's the guy. No, no, no. Klosterman is the author who wrote about metal. Yeah, Schuldiner. That's kind of funny because Schuldiner was a homosexual, and the idea again, it's just like the Judas Priest thing with the denim and leather. This masculine genre, this symbol. I actually, this kind of sounds like somebody, doesn't it? This per, this genre purports to be this will to power Nietzschean genre, and you look just beneath the surface, and you find a lot of something something. Hey, those leather jackets and those whips, they look really intimidating, but if only we knew a certain group that also wore that stuff in certain venues. Anyways, just a little teasing. That's funny. Obviously, that's not news. It's just kind of funny. The Klosterman. Yeah. Klosterman, he was like a culture writer. He's like a Lester Bangs type. And so we would like to talk about Rolling Stone magazine content, but have this, like Billy Pratt. Billy Pratt's at Kill to Party. We spoke with Matt Forney from Terror House Press. We got some stuff lined up. Hey, if anybody can help me out here, I tried to reach out to this guy, but he doesn't seem to have a Twitter or anything. And I think he's had multiple channels, Commuting the Soul. I wanted to have some academic content for you guys. That's what got me watching some of Charlemagne's videos. What's going on here? I think he's changed he's changed channels before, but here, let me pull up. I mentioned this a while ago, but it's been so long. Yo, good night, bass guitar. It's good to see you here. Well, yeah, this guy, I tried to reach out. I was trying to go through Oros. There's the Winona Ryder. Where are we at here? There we go. Yeah, I was trying to find a way to reach out, but he just has a Patreon, so I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. Excuse me, Vingol. 1 second. 1 second. But it's nice. It's nice to hear a Christian perspective. Yo, Charlemagne, thank you so much, man. That would be. Oh, whoops, whoops. That would be great because I have a script ready if need be. So I've been meaning to do that, and then we'll get Carlsbad soon. That's another one we lined up. Thanks to Garak. Thanks to Garak. And there was somebody else. Somebody else, I thought. Also, we're gonna try and get the window video back up in some capacity. Maybe I need an Odyssey. Somebody in chat when we were on Cozy was wondering if I had an Odyssey. I might have to do that. I think Prudentials has one, but because the video got taken down for talking about certain things, so we're gonna have to be careful. Oh, what do you want to ask? I would just here. What did I write? Because he reached out back, but it kind of stagnated. Let me 1 second. 1 second. Let me look at the comments I left. Sure. Ask him. I'd like us to go in depth with his Evola's errors in Revolt Against the Modern World from a Christian perspective. I'd like him to outline some of the blind spots that some of the dissident right have because it's a very specific point of view. So it's mostly just asking for collaborating on responding to his video. And even though it's like an hour and a half long video, I feel like there's still some subtext that I think we could explore together. And I think it would be beneficial. Yo, Manon, you're right. You're right. We are doing it. Odyssey. Yeah, what's the other one? Trovo. What are the other ones? Oh, BitChute. Yeah. Semiagog wasn't too hyped for it. So, well, maybe we'll have to figure something out. No. We did a little bit. We're I gotta be careful with the microphone. I don't want this to turn into mukbang. Even though some of you guys wanted that. Oscar Toe, he wanted this channel to turn into mukbang. He wanted me to get some of the cereals me and Thomas have been talking about. What is it? The Reese's Puffs, Big Puff. They look like crack rocks. The Captain Crunch pancake mix. Use Captain Crunch flavored syrup. That yeah, a lot of potential with this channel. Maybe that'll be a cozy exclusive. It's incredible, man. Yeah, I don't know. I that might be asking a bit much. Oh, okay. Oh, Myth. They're on Honestly. My friend always talks about them. Interesting. Yeah, Vingo, this is all for you, man. This is all for you. Well, Manon just got here, so I gotta show some support. Give me a sec here. So this was like the Van Halen revisionism stream. Thank you, Manon. That's so funny. It's gonna break the. It's gonna break the TOS. You know, it's funny. What's funny if we do the cozy gig, that means that means we could talk about Razor Fist. Because I know Nick and him have gone at it. There's some interesting behind the scenes stuff there too. He talked about it on an old stream, but I don't think many people remember it. It's pretty funny. That's a bit gossipy, so not necessary, but it's just funny. Some of the stuff that happens is pretty funny. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to like there we go. Very considerate. Hey, you're spoiling it, Marshall. You're spoiling the lore. So Vingal, if I do this, you're not gonna be able to handle it. Vingal, are you there, buddy? Vingal, I'm talking to you, Vingal. Listen, I got something for you. All right, all right. No, 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 no. I'm almost out. Excuse me. That's a myth of the 20th century, Charlemagne. Make sure my audio is good. Hello, test test. Okay, we're good. My mic went out. Sorry. Is the mic still working? I think this one just got unplugged. There we go. Oh. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. So I can't knock this like a rag doll? Well, then why even have it? Well, if I can't rock it back and forth, I guess we're just gonna have to keep it here and continue. Oh, that was too much. I got too much. Look at that. Look at that. That's too much. I can't eat all that. I gotta I'll put it back. Can you guys hear that? All right. Yeah, myth of the 20th century. Very, very subtle name. Very well, yeah, what are they talking about? All right. All right. All right. All right, we're back. Yeah, I've heard some things with those guys. They I think they were talking about Bowden at one point. Anyways. I'm suspicious of a woman. That's interesting, Manon. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, like Oro said, one of the things he's making me responsible for is the Drake and Josh revisionism and some of the early 2000s emo pop. So, I don't know, man. Got a lot of things lined up. If things can go over smoothly with commuting the soul. And Carlsbad seemed pretty receptive. But I got to watch more of his content. I know that he did a debate on breaking the rules or break the rules. I don't think Gio is with that crew anymore. From based on some unflattering tweets, I'm going to guess that that relationship is on the fritz or something. But yeah, I'll reach out. I know that he's got that. That's another academic stream also. So I guess we're really cleaning up this show. We're stepping away from the fun and games. You know what is so? Oh my goodness, man. I went to the theater today and I was looking for the new Cronenberg movie. I think it's what is it? Crimes of the Future. Didn't have it. They only showed it in a few towns in California. And then I waited too long for The Northman, so imagine that. I can watch it on Peacock if you guys I'm probably gonna do that. I wanted to see it in theater though. I wanted to fully enjoy Nicole Kidman and Willem Dafoe on the big screen. How many times am I gonna be able to do that? This is what happens when you have this these Zoomer handicaps. You wait too long. I saw Top Gun. Wow. I made time for that, but not some of my favorite actors. What does that say? That's right, Marshall Forward. Marshall Forward knows what's up. Video drone. Speaking of Blondie, Debbie Harry, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Wow, wowee. the Bugs Bunny cartoon. Boing. I'm talking about the eyeballs. The eyeballs. like when their eyes pop out of their head. That's what I meant. Anyways, Marsha Ford, yes, I smooth transition. Yes, I do watch Bygone. I'm behind on some of the Thomas stuff because everybody else keeps making content too, so I'm just playing catch up. Charlemagne, I will, excuse me, I will never fall behind. I will never lose track, and so that's one of the benefits of his channel. All these other guys are making me play catch up. Top Gun just made me happy, exactly, and maybe that's all I needed. Maybe that's all I need is a little feel good boomer movie. And that's one of those movies again to talk about Dazed and Confused. It's funny that director, I think Lukather, something like that. He made a one in the last like 5 or so years. Everybody Wants Some. I got to check that out cuz that one's about the 80s. Dazed and Confused is about the 70s. So anyways, and then you got like Once Upon a Time that came out back in 2019. You know, more normalizing these sort of loose off the cuff premises. You just follow these characters and it's just interesting. But oh, so Top Gun, yeah, like that. I don't think anyone's watching that for the plot. You know, it's just people know the cast. I gotta watch more Val Kilmer though. It's been if I'm gonna call myself the '90s revisionist historian, I'm gonna have to watch more Val Kilmer. Real genius. Pump up the volumes. Gonna have to oh, what is it? Yeah, Link Ladder. What kind of name is that? My goodness. Body horror makes me mad makes me mad Yeah, I think that's the point. Makes me mad uncomfy. That makes me that makes me the opposite of cozy. Yo, I'm feeling kind of uncomfy right now, bro. Body horror. You know what's funny? There's not too many people watching, so I guess I could tell this story. I went and asked this girl out, and hold on. I'm gonna need more M&Ms for this story. I went and asked this girl out, and one of the last movies I watched was no, hold on, you're gonna have to hear me out. Trouble Armstrong. This story is it might not end the way you think. One of the last movies I watched was what was that Cronenberg movie with Holly Hunter? You guys might know what I'm talking about. Let me find it. Cronenberg, Holly Hunter. Crash. It was Crash. That's right. That was one of the last movies I watched. Um, don't really recommend you guys do it, but it was Crash. So that was one of the last. That was probably like the back of my mind during the whole. You know, I'm trying to like focus. I'm trying to like prepare, and I got this. I got this absolutely bizarre film, this absolutely disgusting film in the periphery. So, you know, it's not exactly what you want. Um, Anyway, if you know, you know, but that was pretty funny. For that. It does, and it really do be like that, Marshall Ford. It's really rare to get a moment of honesty in the way that you just described it. It really do be like that. One minute you're, one minute you're head over heels for some broad. Next minute you're watching ne next minute you're watching James Spader have some, not ideal encounters with, Holly Hunter. Doing, getting a little too intimate with, vehicles in an unorthodox sense. You know, actually, I don't think that happens to the best of us, Marshall. You know, actually, it's sort of the opposite. I think there's a lack of people doing, what you're talking about. I don't think that really happens to many people you know. Was she in existence? Are you serious? Yo, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Yo, speaking of, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, another good example of what we were talking about earlier. Um, yeah, gonna have to disavow that. Trouble Armstrong, not really, yeah, that's funny. Did you guys ever watch that other movie called Crash? Did you guys ever watch that one? That's really something, isn't it? Now that's really something. Yo! Yo! Pepe sells. Ace. You gonna do Top Gun 2? I already did. I'll do it again though. Welcome back to the Loud Sound Epicenter podcast. I'm your host, Ace. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Top Gun sequel, or should we say adaptation? Because if you've already seen the first movie, you really don't need to see the second. I mean, my goodness. With a couple of tweaks and differences here and there, it is basically the same old tired script. No, but yeah, to review Top Gun 2, first of all, there's a very interesting review on IM1776, regardless of the baggage that that site may or may not have. It's a pretty interesting review. You guys might want to check out. It's funny, when I was in the theater, there was a specific line that stood out to me and would have stood out to you guys. There was a moment where I think one of the generals, one of the guys in suits, he tells Tom Cruise, you know, your breed is dying. Men like you are dying off. Whoa, whoa, excuse me. I just came to see my Wholesome Boomer movie, and this guy's talking about replacing me, like, or actually, technically not me. Technically not me, but he's talking about he's talking about a certain electoral politics strategy. And so that was like, it's like, whoa, dog whistle check. But there was a lot of stuff like that. There was a lot of, you know, Tom Cruise, you're in way over your head. And it's not just the cliche stuff. It's like your archetype. Clint Eastwood, Marlon Brando, John Wayne. This American hero figure is part of a bygone era. And so it's very unusual to see, you know, a strong sort of Western chauvinist as the protagonist and do it with confidence. Because you look at a movie like Baby Driver, as much as I like that movie, would you really say that is like a masculine character? Would you say it's really like inspirational to see Baby? I mean, you can't even get intimate with his name. He's sort of like he's like Edward Norton in Fight Club. You don't really have a connection to the Baby character, but he is cool. It's also kind of funny because if you read Steve Saylor's review of West Side Story, the Spielberg one, basically says all that needs to be said about that thing. So anybody who was won over by Baby, why don't you go watch that Spielberg movie, Checks Notes Spielberg movie, and why don't you go check out some of the tones in that movie? Little sus from a certain point of view. But anyways, that's what made Top Gun Maverick so cool. You know, he goes into the bar with Jennifer Connelly, who's not really looking super great, if I gotta be honest. It's again no value judgment, no value judgment. I support Dark City. I support 7 Minutes in Heaven. That's an underrated one. But in this movie, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but I can it's not a what does DiCaprio say? It's like this it's like the smell. It's like that smell. It's just gone. It drifted away. That's my opinion on Jennifer Connelly in this movie. Again, it's whatever, and it's not excessive, which is appreciative. Usually, you get these boomers movies like Cocktail, for instance. My goodness, I mean, talk about jumping the shark. But Top Gun Maverick stays in its lane, appropriate, not thinking too hard. Just yeah, yes, derivative of the original movie, but that's what we like. And speaking of Cocktail, what's that guy's name? Sherman McCoy. Sherman McCoy brought a great point. I think he's on sub. He burping, man. I get these salads are. It's hard. Is it Sherman? Sherman McCoy. He asked because this guy saw it like 9 times. My goodness. How do you even do that? I get it's a cool movie, but I mean, my goodness. Pepe Cell's really getting his question answered in spades, but he was talking about how the difference between and this vindicates me on the Jennifer Connelly question. Hear me out. Everyone's going to counter signal. Vingel's already typing an essay in chat. Pause. Pause. I'm about to verify it. There was a time in the 80s, as boomer and cliche as it was, there was this like not just romantic, but there was this very intimate chemistry between co-stars. And so it's not surprising to see a lot of Hollywood stars marry each other. I mean, especially when they get that close. But you look at a movie, I don't fully endorse it, but Willem Dafoe and Madonna did that one movie. What was that called? Evidence, Body of Evidence. That's what it's called. Body of Evidence. I tried watching that with my dad. Folks, what's going on, big guy? You know, I just got done watching Dick Tracy. Okay. That wasn't too heavy handed. I was able to watch that with my dad. So I'm like, okay, Willem Dafoe, pretty cool actor. Madonna, not the end of the world. Not the up and comer poor gal from the debut, early 80s. But hey, maybe we can like Susie Sue, we can kind of give her this role as a pretty wholesome co-star. You watch Body of Evidence, and it's like, my goodness, is this pornography I'm watching on the screen? I mean, I just wanted to watch like a drama. And you can watch like Fatal Attraction, although it's easier to get through that because Glenn Close is something something. It's a lot easier because it's not like it doesn't take over your senses. It doesn't give you any urge, you know? There's nothing there, frankly. But with this body of evidence, stay far, far away from this thing. This thing is a health hazard. And I mean, God forbid, God forbid you put that on in the living room like I did. Luckily, it was like midnight, which adds a whole other layer of weirdness. But please, very strange stuff. But anyways, erotic thriller. No, no, no. Charlemagne, I didn't know anything about the movie, okay? I didn't know anything about it. Okay, you know what happens? Because Willem Dafoe is like this businessman, and he just, he's just looking at this woman who works there, I'm guessing. And it's like literally it's like it is erotic fantasy. It's what I hear about like I don't know, that the Japanese animation stuff. I jumped in at the movie and all of a sudden I'm seeing wax being used on someone's torso. I'm seeing candle being used in a very physical way. I didn't know that's what this was. I thought this was a drama, okay? I thought this was like Black Rain. It's like, oh, these shady businessmen and this cutthroat woman, you know what I mean? Um Disclosure with I was going to say Demi Lovato, with Demi Moore. I mean, it never got it never got, like, that bad. This body of evidence, this isn't your typical Brian De Palma erotica, you know? If you've ever seen, what's that? Oh, man, what's the Body Double? Body Double, like, yeah, that's erotic, but it's not like sexual, it's just, oh, it's romance, Shakespearean. I try to have a nice, wholesome watching experience, and I got I got, some, a little more than I bargained for, so my goodness, man, my goodness. So, not you know anyways, so Top Gun Maverick was a good movie. Doesn't come at your jugular like Madonna in this porn movie, but yeah, I liked it, and, uh and yeah, Dick Tracy wasn't that bad. I don't know what that's sort of the reason why we need some revisionism in the entertainment side of it. There's some great classic stuff out there, and just because Al Pacino looks like a certain group, that doesn't mean we got to trash the movie. I don't know how you're going to counter signal anything with Warren Beatty at the helm. Body Heat. Disclosure. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's, it's one of those things. And but like, what's cool about that genre is it's like it's so real. It's not a caricature. We were talking about Sharon Stone and Casino with Thomas earlier, and it's like that woman was insane at the time of that making that film. Today, that's just an average woman. That's the strategy. It's very funny to see that playbook used as like a caricature. It's not a parody anymore. So, you know, again, in all honesty, also, while Charlemagne is still here, I got to thank him for talking about hyping up Thomas Crown Affair with Faye Dunaway. Got to thank Charlemagne because I like Steve McQueen, but I'm very lazy with watching his movies. And Humana Humana, I was not aware of a lot of some stuff. So again, you watch that for the drama and the crime, of course. That's what I'm referencing. Charlemagne also knows that's what I'm referencing. We're talking about the It's like a crime drama, that's nothing more, nothing less. But I had no idea, had no idea. So, anyways, been meaning to thank you, but been meaning to thank anyways, that's pretty funny. Um, dog check, dog in the room check. What else we got? Any Thomas's take on Steve McQueen? Hey, you know what's funny? Speaking of, Thomas said that Ryan Gosling is the Steve McQueen of the 21st century because it's this minimalist effort, similar to Marlon Brando, the whining. If you've ever seen that movie Hollywoodland with Ben Affleck, Adrian Brody, if you've ever seen Hollywoodland, there's a very nuanced critique against Hollywood. Usually it's if you've ever seen Neon Demon, it's like, okay, we get it, it's evil, it's run by Democrats. It's run by hyper liberal folks. So and anyway, so but in Hollywoodland, they talk about the fact that one of the problems with the leading man on film is you get stuff like Marlon Brando, who gets the critical acclaim, but he's kind of a whiner. He mumbles. He mumbles his lines, you know? I don't know if that's like sexy to women or something, but it's different from like a Humphrey Bogart. It's different from, Cary Grant. These were fast talkers, witty, quotable, but this like it's very counterculture too. I think a lot of the 60s, well, because it was happening before the 60s. But that sentiment, that anti-authoritarian sentiment, it really crushed and reduced the leading man archetype in this very limited way. You know what I mean? There was no longer the fast talking noir protagonist. It was and it's that man. I'm forgetting that guy's name. Anyways, Hollywoodland described that, and it's a very unpopular thing to say. James Dean, John Wayne's a bad example, but James Dean, Marlon Brando. How could you say anything bad about these guys? Well, for one thing, James Dean has a very limited career, so it's just something to. Might, hey, you guys want to see something? Hey, we're in the middle of a show here. Jonathan Pohl just joined. Having a little wholesome moment. Anyways. There's something to think about when you hear a lot of praise for certain actors. And I just saw The Wild One. I was impressed, but it's a different archetype, you understand? I forgot how we got on that tangent, but anyways. Yeah, it's a she. Very yeah, no, we're making it. We're making it. Or I'll But anyways, oh, we were talking about how did we get on that tangent? I forget. You named your No, Vidgal, that's not what I Yo, I got the author of Years of Silence right. Yo, yo, Jonathan Paul. Jonathan. Oh, that's pretty fun. Yo, 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 dude, you talked a lot about. Yo, I know, dude. It's crazy. Like the historians, they don't get it right the first time. We got. That is so funny. Oh man, that is Vingle, man. That's why Vingle's a moderator. He earns his stripes. Yo, Vingle. Jonathan Pohl. I love you, Jonathan Pohl. I own my dog for since 2014. But then I read Years of Silence and I was like, man, Pops, I know we've had this name for so long, but but please just follow him on Twitter. You're gonna like him. Let's name the dog. Oh man. My dog thinks I'm insane. Oh man. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Thank you, Bingo. No, it's the dog's name is Maggie. It's Maggie, and I'm almost certain my oh, the mic scared her a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. Pretty sure my mom named her after after the Walking Dead character. But it's a nice name. It's a nice name regardless. I almost got named Kevin because of Kevin Costner. So it's not the end of the world, but that's pretty funny. Yo, yeah, Pepe. Hey, thank you for stopping by, man. I like Top Gun 2. Very cool, wholesome, and another W for the historic American man. So thank you for asking. Have a good night, man. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't wanna interfere with your guys' morning tomorrow. Alright. I don't know. Did I miss anybody's, yo, Pepe sells, but who's buying? Is anybody gonna buy the meme magic? Could probably, nah, I can't. It would be trying too hard to be trying too hard. But, alright, Jonathan Pohl, it's time to get down now. Alright. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, let me, sorry. We were talking about, Glenn Close and, Demi Moore, so let me catch up with let me catch up with the chat. Did you ever see oh my goodness, did you ever see that Kevin Bacon movie? My Dog Skip? Do you guys remember that? My goodness, man, my goodness. Oh, here, let Jonathan pull out. My goodness. Her name her name is Holly Hunt. Yeah, raised in Arizona star. Oh, man. But instead, you got named after Yeah, yeah. Crazy how that works out, huh? Pretty intense. My dog goes out and then goes back in. Ace. Yes, Sly Cooper. Thank you, man. It's very anti-American, is it not? I it sounds so counterintuitive, but think about it. And you know what, man? You know what? Apocalypse Now, that might turn into a Substack article. Apocalypse Now really is like the death of the golden age of Hollywood. the fact that Marlon Brando is, like, insane at that stage of the film, and the fact that it takes, like, Martin Sheen to kind of overcome that nightmare. Man, Apocalypse Now, you can't so much content there. That ho how can that not be the best ending to a film? My goodness. And with the Doors in the background, it's like the song was made for that movie. That, when Martin Sheen, not even when he gets out of the water, okay? Everyone knows. When he stands up right outside that, like, temple, it's like, oh my goodness. And the lightning reflecting off, and then you got, and then right after, emerging out of the darkness, you see a black silhouette, and I think Jim Morrison is saying, "Kill, kill." Maybe I shouldn't say that on stream, but and then you see him, and it's like he's reborn. He's oh man, because I just saw the lighthouse, and it made me wanna get back in Apocalypse Now, and it's just like, you don't get stuff like that, you know. And so, anyways, you could kind of like symbolically describe, Marlon Brando from the heights of The Wild One, Godfather. I mean, Godfather specifically, that character, but it's just so fitting. It's fitting. It's like but Martin Sheen didn't really like wasn't really like a leading man in the usual sense. So it would be convenient if it was like I don't know who's like a 70s. It would be nice if it was like a Warren Beatty because he's like the new age of Hollywood. Or maybe, because out of that, you get, like, Martin Scorsese and George Lucas. If it was, like, Harrison Ford, who was, like, a nobody around that time. I mean, Star Wars just happened, so but you know what? I mean, that timeline kinda lines up because A New Hope is '77, so you could kinda make that work. You know what I'm saying? If you could have your new leading man, this is the new breed of leading men, literally destroying the preceding era. But anyways. Yeah, yeah, it is detached. It's very, there's nothing zoomer about that attitude, you know? I remember Nick, hey, say what you will about Nick, but it's like he said the distinction between a White Boy Summer protagonist and not. Like Christian Bale is not really White Boy Summer-esque, not a little too pessimistic, depending on the roles. But somebody like, I don't know, somebody like Brad Pitt, you know, little closer, you know. Val Kilmer, Val Kilmer's White Boy Summer. Christian Slater, White Boy Summer. But like, um, it's also I think fashion's a big part of it too. Like Ryan Gosling, even if you got like a downer movie like Drive, it's still you could still have that 80s upbeat style to it. But something like, De Niro and Taxi Driver, obviously not White Boy Summer. So there is some nuance, you know what I mean? Even though these are all the meme movies. There's a distinction. Yo, Fahrenheit in chat. I'm thinking we're back. Oh, that's right. Vingel. Thank you. That's right. Harrison Ford gives him the brief debrief at the start of the movie. That I forgot about that. Or wasn't he deleted out of the movie? Is that a deleted scene? I remember Thomas talked about that on the P. Canones show. Do you remember that scene? It's deleted, but there's that scene where the people in where are they at? Cambodia? Yeah, it's in Cambodia, right? There's certain people that are basically acting like the war isn't happening, you know? There's That's the kind of mindset I'm talking about with White Boy Summer, you know? Sort of succeeding in spite of the chaos. Ferris Bueller. Wait, are you saying it's not Bill Curve? Ferris Bueller's perfect example. You're trying to say Harvey Keitel? Oh, okay, yeah, there you go, Harvey Keitel. 'Cause, Mean Streets had already yeah, 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 that would've yeah, yeah. Nah, Martin Sheen, man, Martin Sheen was brilliant. Mars Attacks? Yo, let's go. Yo, Mars Attacks. What is it, Jack Nicholson as the president. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, Danny DeVito is in Mars Attack, isn't he? There's no way he's not. Yeah, yeah. Who was he, though? There's a lot of random people in there, like Harrison, Pierce Brosnan is like he's like some celebrity. What in the See, I don't even remember this. Robert Duvall in what? Oh, Harvey Keith. Oh, okay, my bad, my bad. Robert Duvall was perfect in what? I think I missed the context. Let me find your, yeah, look at this. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't even remember this. This is in the movie? Talk about a bygone era. Yeah, check out The Lawnmower Man. Yo, I'm thinking we're back. Now this is White Boy Summer. Yo. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, they experiment on his head. Hey, while I got you guys here yeah, I remember this scene. Classic, classic. Michael J. Fox works has been working so hard to be a news anchor, and he gets totally blocked by Sarah Jessica Parker. See, that's a role where she fits. It's brilliant, man. Brilliant stuff. Oh, yeah, yeah, and then you get this moment. Yeah, yeah, let's go. That's a good movie. What's everyone's problem? Yo, funny check? Funny check? People wanna people want what's his name? HG Giger, you know, "Oh, this is so cartoonish. This doesn't look like a Ridley Scott movie. Oh, Bafangul, Bafangul. Give it a rest. Give me Pierce Bronson with a cigar pipe any day of the week." Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, 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 of course. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course Robert Duvall is in Apocalypse Now. Yeah, yeah, the most one of the most famous parts. Excuse me. My mind was warped. My mind was jacked. Do you guys remember that? Remember Mind Jack, the video game? Yo, Jonathan Poland chat didn't like Body of Evidence with Madonna. Whoa, whoa, pause. Whoa, disavow, disavow. Whoa, John, my dog. What is my dog typing in chat? My goodness, please. Whoa, dude. We we just got over the TOS, please. Yeah, obviously we're gonna want to take a couple steps back from that movie. I mean, my goodness. Now, how about this for a little inconsistency? I see Vingel shilling. I think it's Vingel, always shilling Mulholland Drive, but there's that scene. Doesn't not really necessary. Does that have to be in the movie? Vingel knows what I'm talking about. It's pretty cringe. Yo, merchandising, merchandise. Yeah, yeah. Be careful. Be careful. Yeah, maybe one of these days. My parents are watching that Billy the Kid show. Oh, Jonathan Pohl, since you're in here, yeah, you were talking about that. Yeah, my folks weren't too into it. It's a little paused, you know what I mean? It's a little too modern. And a lot of that stuff isn't even true if anybody's interested in the Billy the Kid lore. A lot of the backstory that they're giving Billy the Kid, they're just I don't even know where they're pulling that stuff from. So, I don't yeah, yeah. Well, Vingel, I mean, yeah, the scene that there's yeah, not exactly family friendly and not really necessary either. Um, no. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that scene instead, please. Yeah, the diner scene. Yeah, yeah, classic, classic. Jump scare and what's that movie? How does David Lynch do a jump scare? Nerd writer. The beauty of Mulholland Drive. The beauty of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ah, yes. Nah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. Anyways, what I was gonna ask, did you guys ever see that third as far as I know, it's the third sequel to Reanimator, the Stuart Gordon franchise? I don't think Stuart Gordon was too involved with the third one. It's the one where the doctor goes to prison and then he has to figure something out. I thought it was the sequel. It's very modern too. It's a very big break from the '80s style. There's that other movie, From Beyond. I think it has some of the same cast members in the original Stuart Gordon Reanimator. Anyways, if anyone I know there's a sequel to Reanimator. I didn't see the second one. I thought I was watching the second one, but it was actually the third, as far as I know. You guys know what I'm talking about? The prison one. I don't know. I kinda wanna see a David Lynch Return of the Jedi. Maybe then it can compete with Revenge of the Sith, you know what I mean? The, objectively Zoomer movie of the Star Wars franchise. But anyways, okay, that might be a little too obscure, but it was interesting because thanks to Red Letter Media, I, checked out Reanimator, and I don't know, I just don't know how to feel about some of the modern sequels because it's like the story is whatever. Alright, alright. The Jonathan my goodness. I'm catching up with you guys. Yo, Vingold doing the bullet time stuff as a 7-year-old. I'm thinking we're back. Yo, with Don Johnson as the voice of the dog. Yo, let's go. That's such a random. What made you think of that? Well, I can't even find the comment. Yeah, here we go. Thank you, Marshall. I don't know what would compel you to say something like that, but that's interesting, I guess. We are watching erotic thrillers with your dad at midnight. I think it wasn't like that. No, Charlemagne. I didn't know. It was. I do want him to watch Body Double because it's basically a Hitchcock ripoff. But I mean, no. This is you're putting words. Well, actually, you're not putting words in my mouth. That's literally what I said. But no, it's different. The context is different. Does Willem Dafoe like Huey Lewis in the News? I think you mean does Jared Leto like Huey Lewis in the News? He said they were all right, as far as I know. I don't know. Is it Morbin time? Is he too busy morbin? That's why Collateral is a much better movie. So true. So true. Who said that? Oh, Trouble Armstrong. If you're still here, that movie is called Career Opportunities with Frank Whaley. The Chad. Frank Whaley is White Boy Summer. Oh man, that's funny. The Bullet. Yo, let's go. Marshall Bullet Head. Bullet. That's a Van Halen song too from Different Kind of Truth. Bubba Bullet Head. I gotta listen to that after the show. My goodness. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, why are you being what's going on? Whoa, what's that? Hey, Marshall Ford. The Lost Highway was the weirdest film. I don't understand Lost Highway. Thomas said that's peak Lynch. How can you say that? Because it has a base take on O.J. Simpson? Is that the motivation? I just don't understand what's happening in the movie. That guy walks into the party. He sees a guy with a white, pale face. Looks like a goblin. I know that the Patricia Arquette, she's playing two characters. I don't understand what's happening. Hey, what's going on in this David Lynch movie? I don't know what's happening. What the hecking crud? Ridiculous. Yes, Fahrenheit. Okay, we're so back. My goodness. If you're not Anakin pilled, my goodness. This is why we're gonna make it. You know why? You know why Gen X, the boomers, you know what they got all wrong? All wrong. They're watching the original Star Wars trilogy. What do you You're gonna watch what, Empire? It's a perfect movie, Empire. It's a perfect movie. Okay, dude. Wow, that's crazy, man. Would you just blow in from Stupid Town? Whoa, dude, that's guy who's never watched Revenge of the Sith. Guy who's never watched Attack of the Clones. Bafangul. Show some respect. Show some respect for Jake Lloyd, please. Are we Jake Lloyd heads or what, gang? Do we ride with Jake Lloyd? How are you going to defend Mark Hamill after that January 6th tweet? It's over for the original trilogy. Not even a force to be reckoned with. Why the shades? Are you feeling pretentious? I'm feeling pretty razor fist today. Yo, I feel like I need to read some Yo. 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 Yo, I'm feeling a little razor fist tonight. Man. Wow. There's a lot of smart stuff in here. There's a lot of words put together in these like sentences. My goodness, philosophy. Rousseau was really the natural progression of classical liberalism. He really, instead of just giving people the option, why not? What if they were just blank slates, What if they were just blank slates? Wow, yeah. Yeah. Whoa, dude. Dude, you don't have any responsibility to the previous generation or the next. Whoa, dude, that's crazy. Dude, like society, but like me, but like what I want. Dude, like Steven Pinker? Bro, based? No, but it's based. No, wait a second, man. No, dude, you're just reading the Ayn Rand Institute. They're not loyal to what she actually said. Ridiculous, man, please. What are you gonna waste your time with? What, the Edmund Burke Foundation? What are you gonna like go to the National Conservative Conference? Look, man. Look, it's all here. Dude, dude, she's like a success story. It's the American dream. Dude, like in what's the story? No. Red Pawn. Dude, it's like she's the protagonist of Red Pawn. She actually escaped communism. She's got bragging rights. So based. Man. Unpublished. Think about that. Unpublished, man. Why would they keep this from us? They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know what she's. This is a radical message. Why did Buckley kick her out if she was no big deal? If she was the establishment, why did Buckley kick her out? Whoa, dude. Dude, I get it now. It's not about being right wing, it's about being selfish. Guys, come on. Get on board. Listen, just take the internship. Just check it out, man. Just check it out. Dude, would she lie to us? Surely not. Her? All right. Okay. I found this too. Yo. Now this is radical. This is what a the DC apparatus. this is what they keep under wraps. Yo, Ratchet and Clank check. Ratchet and Clank. Oh, that's funny. I was looking for another one, but all right. A little forced, but pretty funny. Pretty funny. Yeah. Oh, yo, Marshall Ford giving away the playbook. Whoa, dude. No, but dude. No, I'm actually channeling a friend of another friend of mine. No, I've a friend of mine. I mean, um, yeah, dude. Become who you are is actually a dog whistle for you never become, you're just a being. Nah, dude. Look, man, we all name one person who hasn't signed the contract. Name one person who hasn't. Um, yes, at the end of the Oh, man, that's pretty good. I got Game Informer. I don't know if it's in this room. I'm not sure where. Yeah, Ayn Rand and George Carlin are the same person. It's the exact same archetype. It's like that Sam Hyde quote. Sargon made him everything he was today. What is it? Liberalist, atheist. What is it? I forget I'm messing up the quote. But that's literally George Carlin. I think it was his Jon Stewart interview where he talked about individualism. Whoa. George Carlin needs me? Whoa, dude. I'm Ayn Rand's top guy. All right. All right. I'm going to bat for you. Oh, man. Whoa. Obviously, I disapprove of what he did, but like, I mean, you got to hand it to the. You got it. Oh, man. Oh, I'm Ayn Rand's top guy. Ah, whoa. When you're like so pumped up and shredded. Man. Yo. She chose me to lead the revolution. Oh, man. Spaceballs and Ormars. I just saw the name Ayn Rand. Oh, did you conf If Ayn Rand is bad and also likes Mars whoa, what? Did she is this like a Rothbard moment? Did she review movies? Oh, dude, if she did, that's talk about content. Urgh. That's why we gotta get on Cozy so we could review copyrighted albums. Have a listening party, my goodness. We'll have to maybe Wendell will hook us up with the jukebox episodes. Oh, man. No more patience, man. You dig what I'm saying? Wow. I need like a smoke machine for the show. Could you imagine that? I could be like, what is it, Spenguli? Does anybody here know that? Spenguli, like a Alice Cooper talk show host. But he introduced some horror movies. He was like a Elvira. He was like the male Elvira counterpart. Yo, this comic could basically be displayed on any show of ours. Yeah, Vingal. I gotta rewatch episode 8. Episode 8, check. And by episode 8, I mean The Force Awakens, of course. Or that's not episode 8. What is it? Anyways, messed up the joke. What's going on? What? Jonathan Pole's giving me some flack over here. I think it Return of the Jedi. No, that's the other movie. The Last Jedi? Yeah, Last Jedi. Yeah, Last Jedi. That would be episode 8. Yeah, we're talking about that. Either Batman or Jedi. Anyone see this new Batman? Yeah, of course. Bill Curve. We could talk about that a little bit. So you will always stream Kalendo. Well, let's see. Let's see. It's his show. Don't want to invite myself on. That's rude. But he was interested in collaborating in the future, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's been doing me a favor, man, and he's a good contact. But yeah, episode 8. Yeah, can't even get into that can of worms. But yeah, the Batman. I was pretty ambivalent when I walked out of the theater. That's not a good feeling to have. I want to be confident. Not that I want like a linear story, but just I remember when I watched the Batman with a friend of mine, and he was confident in saying, "This is the best one. I like this one." And I was just on the fence, but I really liked the Penguin character. I want this sequel. I want them to emphasize more of Colin Farrell, because that to me that stole the show for me. That stole the show more than the Riddler. I thought the Riddler was kind of a goofy caricature. I was really interested in the Penguin. And the dynamic between Catwoman and Batman was also, I think, a lot better than the Anne Hathaway one in Dark Knight Rises. So it was good. It was good. How can I criticize emo Batman? I mean, my goodness, have I been saying that a lot? I'll verify that. But yeah, no, good tone, good tone. What I'm nervous about is this Joker sequel. I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, when the Barbie movie is on a better trajectory than the Joker sequel, what has modernity come to? You call yourself a salesman? We'll see what happens, though. Yo, Vingol, hey, hey. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Vingol, for stopping by the Double R Diner. Love you, man. Love you. Um, has, no. Fahrenheit, I don't think so. I don't know, Bell Curve. We might not have the luxury of having Joker 2 if we're gonna pause it up. Might be fool's gold. Whatever your opinion. Yes. Thank you, Marshall. Yeah. That's strong. Strong take there. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Not gonna throw shade on a fellow Zoomer, especially one who's done quite a bit. The devil is Ayn Rand's top guy. Man, it's too bad Vingol's not here. But that scene where Sam Hyde's telling that girl that, it looks just like the Netflix short film of David Lynch talking to that monkey. That's pretty funny. Yo, downvote for Jake Lloyd. Todd, man, strong endorsement. We're deep in the weeds. Wait, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. No problem, Melker. I can't even imagine. Okay, Marshall's with me. Yeah, also confused about what is being called peak lynch. Maybe, maybe. No, but the next thing I'm gonna be hyped for when I go to Vegas in about a week. I think I'll be in Vegas a week from now. Gonna watch Elvis, man. Gonna watch the Elvis movie. I know Oros was counter signaling. He said it's emo, it's too modern. They're gonna pause up the story. Nah, man. Have some faith, okay? Hey, Oros, we're not going after the king of rock. We're not doing it. Listen, remember this, okay? You're gonna see a lot of takes on the timeline. Remember, it's not gonna be that bad. I gotta get back in the Elvis stuff, man. I'm running out of time. I was jazzed up recently. I gotta get back into it. I've been sidetracked. All right, I think I'm oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, I think Vingol may have heard the last endorsement. Okay, okay. I wonder how many. I don't know. I don't know, Fahrenheit. All right. Wow, pretty eventful stream. Talk about talk about something. Well, since Vingol isn't here, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up. If you guys have any final questions before I return to dashboard, end broadcast. Is this it? Is this it? Oh man. What a show. So true, bell curve. So true. Let me put my CDs back. My hecking CDs. Has a Zoomer ever said that out loud? Oh, my cassettes, my VHS tapes. Ugh, Dad, get off my Walkman. This should be here too since it's Van Halen. Blackout. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, could you imagine a smoke machine and a Spenguli theme for the show? Maybe for Halloween, October. That's a ways away, but I don't know. That'll be pretty funny. Oh man. Could you imagine if it's like it's overwhelming? It's so distracting. That's the other thing about the Bygone Era. You know, people make fun of that. The lasers. It's production, man. What do you want to be like? Grunge? You want to? That's they have that genre, shoegaze. They embrace the negative stereotype, and it's like, No, shoegaze is an insult because you're like a stiff. You're just become who you are. Become who you are, a Zoomer or a millennial or a Substack writer or a podcaster or a Van Halen enjoyer or a bass guitarist, you know? You know. All right. All right. Now get out. Gonna head out. All right, Marshall. All right. All the people are packing up from this concert that they attended virtually and getting ready. I'll watch when you're Thank you, Bell Curve. That's generous. I appreciate it. Ace is gonna get 1,000 Bell curve, yeah. Well, hey, we got to avoid the John Doyle problem. We got to avoid the 7%ers. Now that is something I do not want to have to encounter. Got to be careful when the audience becomes starts to shift, get a little too wide. Because right now it's perfect. It's the cool people. It's not some after school special crowd. These are the quadruple digit IQ commentators dropping relevant takes. Thrillers, as Thomas says. All right. Yo, Scott Greer watching Heat for the first time in a long. Oh, okay, for the first time in a long time. That was like 23 minutes ago. Interesting. That's the aesthetic we want: is Val Kilmer in Heat. Your tan suit, like a GTA character. Yo, Fahrenheit, can you link it? Could you link it? Link it in chat. I want to check it out. All right. Well, let me say my thank yous. Fahrenheit Bell Curve, Troubles Armstrong. Oh, Troubles Armstrong. See ya, man. And Fahrenheit Marshall forward. Blaine Morgan. TB88. Got the briefing from Harrison Ford. That was. Thank you. Oh, Robert Wright. Volp. All right. All you guys. Sly Cooper socks, of course. Thank you. Vingol. Did I say bell curve already? All right, I think, and then if Jonathan Paul, thank you, man. That was a highlight. And did I miss? Oh, Great Escape Game, Charlemagne. Thank you for that. I gotta check that out. Can play as Steve McQueen. My goodness, there I go again. Yo, let's go. All right. What are we talking here? Yeah, Trouble Armstrong. He knows. Sounds like he read it. Okay. Club scene. I'm gonna have to rewatch that. Alrighty. Okay. 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 Disavow. It's what I don't let's not get back into it. Oh, man, that's funny. Okay, okay, I got it. I think I got most people. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. What is that? I have a website. Hang on. It's kind of oh, yeah, I don't care, man. Dude, we all know the WordPress struggle. Are you gonna put it in chat? Because I'm about to wrap up shop here. Uh, if not, let me know so that we don't bore everybody to tears over here. Anything? Anything? All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for giving me the time of day. That's more than your average stranger, probably. And yeah, you might be seeing us on Cozy, so stay tuned. And going to be talking a lot about the generational divide. I think that's at the heart of a lot of the drama you hear on this side of the internet. Going to try to build bridges and ease the tension. So might be seeing some stuff. Um, as we talked about, gonna try to get Carlsbad on the show. Next week I'll be busy because of the Vegas thing. I don't recommend going to Vegas otherwise, but just kind of interesting how that worked out. And so I'm definitely gonna review the Elvis movie, Elvis 2022 with Austin Butler from Ned's Declassified. Hello. Hello. And what else? Carlsbad. We'll see if we can get some of the Christian critique of Evola. I think that's hasn't really been said much. A lot of bookworms on the dissident right, but not a lot of theology. I know I've said that before, but in case anyone missed it, I just think that that's kind of interesting. Maybe people should explore some of that stuff to be a bit more well-rounded with a lot of this stuff. I know people pick and choose their favorite philosophers, but I'd like to, you know, branch out a little bit. So, anything? Okay, thank you, Fahrenheit. Thank you so much. Okay, no problem. Thank you. That was perfect timing because I wrapped up all of my talking points, house cleaning. Thank you guys, man. Thank you. It's always fun to do this. You guys make it worth it. You guys are cool. Cool. All right. All right. Well, hey, have a good Sunday. Have a good Sunday. And thank you. Never let this show interfere. Also, don't let a lot of people dip out. Remember, there's no shame in replay, gang. No shame. All righty. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys maybe next week because I'll be busy. We'll see. Check out the Twitter, check out the Discord. We're going to try and get that popping off. And thank you guys. Oh, it's Father. I forgot about that. That's right. We got some. Forgot about that. Well, we'll see. Maybe nothing next week. For probably the following week. But of course, if you want to stay tuned, like I said, Twitter, Discord, no worries, no worries. So I'll see you guys next time and take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your evening.